Great. And welcome everyone tonight to our Healthy Start, Healthy Breakfast webinar. My name's Kristen Horler and I'm based in Sarasota, Florida. I'm joined by two of my friends who are also fellow fitness professionals who are also very, very passionate about inspiring healthy living around the world, just like me. So we are excited to share with you guys tonight just a few of our tips for starting the day with a healthy breakfast. So why does breakfast matter? This is something that I get asked a lot by my clients. And I've written down just a few things here to consider. So breakfast matters if you're pregnant. Your caloric requirements are going to be a little higher. Your body obviously is going through a lot during the course of a pregnancy. And also breakfast is very important if you are breastfeeding. So postpartum moms, doesn't matter if you're 6 weeks postpartum or 16 months postpartum, your requirements, and I choose to use the word energy requirements rather than caloric requirements because I'm not a fan of counting calories. Rather, I like to focus on nutrients. I like to focus on eating the rainbow. And you'll see that with some of our recipes that we have to share with you for breakfast suggestions, that they're quite colorful. And the goal with all those colors is to get a wide variety of fruits and vegetables and naturally occurring vitamins and minerals. But the thing that I find so interesting is that energy requirements for breastfeeding moms are actually double what they are for pregnant moms. So, you know, the old saying of eating for two during pregnancy is definitely not true. Generally speaking, and this is very, very much a generalization, when you're pregnant, you need about 250 additional calories. If you're breastfeeding, you need about 500 additional calories per day. Now that's going to be influenced tremendously by if you do have a 6-week-old who is nursing every 2 hours versus a 16-month-old who is probably eating solids primarily and only supplementing maybe a couple times a day breastfeeding. So those are things to take into consideration. Now, if you are far beyond the prenatal and postpartum phase in your life, exercise is something else to consider. So are you exercising most days? Your energy requirements are going to be different on the days that you're exercising. And you really need to take into consideration, are you exercising at 6 a.m.? Are you exercising at 10 a.m.? Or are you exercising at 6 p.m.? So these are going to influence not only how much you're fueling with and what you're eating, but the time of day that you're eating. So I'll just give you one example. When I exercise at 6 a.m., I'm not going to have a bowl of oatmeal or a smoothie. That might be something I have for recovery. Before my exercise, I might have a couple of dates. If it's not very intense exercise, I might just wait and have something afterwards as part of my recovery. So these are a few considerations that I want you to think about when it comes to fueling and making sure that you are properly fueling your body for the exercise that you have coming up. So recovery is something that's very important. And the other thing that I want you to think about when it comes to breakfast is work. So do you have a certain presentation you need to deliver at work? That's not the day to skip breakfast. Do you have some intense meetings that you need to focus on during the day or a big project you're working on? Making sure you eat in the morning is something that's critical. So I'm going to jump back to the idea of exercise again and want to touch on one more thing before we move ahead to our next slide, which is that when it comes to exercise, we have different fueling needs before exercise, during exercise, and after exercise. And I usually tell people, now pregnant and breastfeeding moms are in a slightly different category, but I usually tell my clients that if you're exercising for 30, 45 minutes, you really don't need to be fueling during exercise. It's enough to hydrate during exercise. But if you are, let's say, training for a half marathon or training for a long endurance race and you are exercising for maybe 75 minutes, 90 minutes, possibly even longer, whether it's biking or swimming or running, you're definitely going to need to consider some fueling needs during that exercise. The one last thing I want to touch on related to exercise and breakfast is if you're going out on race day, let's say you're going out and doing a half marathon, if you don't typically have something to eat the morning before your training run, don't suddenly decide to go have a bowl of oatmeal before race day. So you want to keep things consistent, and that's where your training and the type of exercise you're doing, that's part of learning how to fuel your body properly, what works for you. I can tell you that bananas don't work for me. I can't stand them. I will hide them in a smoothie, and I'll show you a recipe in just a second here. But they just don't work for me as far as pre-fueling or fueling during a workout. I choose to pick some different foods, which I'm going to share with you here. So when to fuel, what to fuel with, and why to fuel. Before exercise, these are two of my favorite choices, either a peach or a nectarine, a small apple, or 2 dates. That's something I will have. It's a carbohydrate-rich food, easy to digest, full of vitamins and minerals and antioxidants. During exercise, I can tell you most of the time I don't exercise for longer than 60 minutes. I'm usually exercising for anywhere from 45 to maybe 75 minutes max. So I don't really need to fuel personally during exercise, but when I am training for a longer endurance race, such as a half marathon, I will bring a couple of chopped up dates. That's a great way to fuel. And then also chomps are something, goo chomps are something I used to use, and I've switched to a plant-based source instead, which is a plant-based chewable that actually my kids take, but I also use that during fueling as well, during exercise. And then afterwards, what do we have for recovery? It's so important after a good workout that you fuel your body properly with a blend of not just carbohydrates, but clean protein. So a lot of people ask me, does that mean I should go home and have a slice of toast with a couple of eggs? Not necessarily. I mean, if your body is truly craving that and that's what you want to eat, then go for it. But what you really want to have is some plant-based protein and carbohydrates like spinach and banana. And I'm going to give you a couple of my favorite recipes. This is how I recover, I would say 5 or 6 days a week from my workouts. This is my green smoothie, which is very simple to make. I love using either my NutriBullet or my Vitamix blender, and I put in 1 cup of water, 1 cup of ice, 1 banana, 1 chopped apple, 2 cups of spinach, and I just reach in and grab a huge handful. That's a cup. That's my handful. And I love using baby organic spinach. That to me is the best. And then 1 peeled lemon. What I do is I cut off each of the ends, and I just take the knife and cut off the yellow pith on the outside, yellow peel on the outside. And then 1 scoop of my favorite plant-based protein powder, which is a vanilla flavor, and blend that very, very well. I top it off with a couple of a little spoonful of chia seeds or some hemp seeds, whatever I feel like that day. And if you go through and count here, you'll see I start every day with 5 servings of fruits and vegetables. And that's something you're going to hear from all of our presenters today, which is the importance of eating more fruits and vegetables. We're actually supposed to be eating 7 to 13 servings per day, 18 or more if we exercise. And we're going to talk a little bit more today about why we need so many fruits and vegetables and all of the oxidative stress that we're producing when we exercise. So this is typically my breakfast. This is typically my recovery drink after I exercise. Now today, I wanted some oatmeal. I didn't want a smoothie. So this is what I had for breakfast. This is actually a picture of my breakfast before I popped it into the oven. So what I did is I took a big bowl, and I actually did a double serving so that I could make some for my kids as well. So you put in 1 cup of oats, and I love the gluten-free oats from Trader Joe's. They have a huge bag. Our family probably goes through a bag every 2 weeks. It's wonderful for making desserts, also baked oatmeal. I added in about 1.5 cups of boiling water. Now, you just want to put enough water in to cover the oats so that they can cook a little bit in that hot water. And remember, you're going to add a lot of other products, a lot of other foods to it. So it needs to be a bit watery. So don't be afraid to add too much water in there. And then I added a chopped apple, about a quarter to a half a cup of raisins. I just found out that Costco has organic raisins, so that's one thing to look for, because I'm always watching the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 list to see which fruits and vegetables are sprayed the most with pesticides, and raisins are one of those that you want to be really careful because they are heavily sprayed. So getting organic whenever possible. 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, about a half a teaspoon of salt, and then I add in the same vanilla plant-based protein powder and stir that up very well. I put that into a bowl and then bake it afterwards in the oven. You can even put it into little muffin tins if you want, if it's more convenient for you. It's not going to be quite like a muffin. It's still going to be, baked oatmeal. You can spread it thinly and almost make a cookie out of it. But it really depends on your lifestyle. If you're on the go and running and don't have time to sit down and eat a bowl of oatmeal like I am most days, then it might be easier for you to stir it all up and spread it out on a sheet pan and make basically a cookie out of it. So this was my recovery from my run today, and it was wonderful. It tasted great, and my kids love it too, which is nice. And it doesn't have any added sugar, which makes me very happy. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to my friend Mary so she can introduce herself and some of her tips on how she starts her day.
Great. Thank you so much, Kristen. I'm really hungry now. It's right at dinner time. Hi, everybody. My name is Mary McQueen. I have been a fitness professional for now it's getting on between 9 and 10 years, almost 10 years now. And I have 3 children, a 9, almost 10-year-old, a 6, almost 7-year-old, and a 4.5-year-old. And I live in Oakland, California. And I just wanted to kind of talk about a little bit how to start your day. How beginning your day matters, as you can see from the slide, and talking about lemon water and dairy-free alternatives if you are drinking coffee. So I started drinking lemon water about 3 years ago or so, and didn't really know why I was doing it. I was told, start your day with lemon water. And the more research I have done, and I've seen the benefits over time, and it has been really great for me. So I wanted to share that information with you. The first thing I do when I get up, and I don't have a lot of time, I've got 3 kids, trying to get them off to school, trying to get to my job teaching fitness classes. Things are a little bit hectic in the morning. But when I'm boiling my water for coffee, I just put extra in for my lemon water. And all it is just the warm lemon water and half of a lemon. And you want to put it in with the rind in there too. So you squeeze the lemon in, drop it in. I take my Juice Plus capsules with my lemon water. And it, first of all, really sets you up on track for great hydration. Most of us are walking around really dehydrated and we don't know it. So to start your day with that is going to set you on that track. You should be getting half your body weight in ounces of water. So let's say you weigh 150 pounds, then you should be getting at least 75 ounces of water throughout the day. And that does not taking into consideration exercise. So if you're exercising, you should definitely be aiming for more than that. The greatest thing about lemon water is that it balances the pH and alkalinity in your body. And we tend to have very acidic diets. And kind of just generally, and this is a general statement, the acidic foods are things like grains and most animal products. And then what is pH and more what's going to bring your body into balance in alkalinity is fruits and vegetables. So we want to be upping our fruits and vegetables a lot, and lemon water is going to help with that. A high acidic diet has been linked to diseases like cancer and osteoporosis. So this lemon water is going to help you balance out your pH levels. And other things I do, it aids in digestion. The warm water stimulates your gastrointestinal tract. and it boosts your immune system. And there's actually a host of other different benefits for it, but those are kind of the main ones that I wanted to focus on today. The dairy-free alternatives. So I drink coffee. I had gotten down from, Krista knows this about me, about 4 to 6 cups a day. I've gotten myself down to 1. Yes. Wow. I'm down to 1, which is good. But I have really tried hard. So dairy is very acidic and can cause a lot of inflammation in our bodies. And so I was really trying to cut down on dairy, and it was pretty easy for me in terms of like cheese. I mean, I love cheese, but I was able to cut that down or, reduce that. But I was like, I have to have half and half. Like sorry, I'm just going to continue on with half and half of my coffee. And I'm going to keep drinking 1 cup of coffee a day. Because I had tried all of these really bad dairy-free alternatives from the grocery store. I still haven't found one that I really liked. Almond milks that were just really kind of watery, or coconut creamer that was filled with sugar and lots of additives. And so I decided one day to make my own almond milk. And it's really, really easy. I highly recommend you buy a nut milk bag, and you can get them if you just search on Amazon, buying one of those bags. And I have tried it not with the bag, just in a sieve, and it did not taste good. So don't try that. Learn from my mistake. With almonds, you're going to want to soak. I do 1 cup of almonds, and I do this at night. Actually, my son usually does it for me. So just stick the cup of almonds in a bowl, soak them. You're going to want to soak them for about 12 hours. And then the next day, you're going to rinse them with water and then put them in a blender with 6 cups of filtered water. And you can either stop right there, or I like to add a little pinch of salt and a couple of dates. Kristen and I are very into dates. I just get the dates that are not pitted. They have the pit in them, so take the pit out. But I find that the pit being in the date keeps the date really fresh, versus if you buy pitted dates, they tend to get a little dried out. And I just buy the container of dates with pits at Trader Joe's. And I always do 2 dates to my almond milk and a little splash of vanilla, just to make things exciting. And you are going to process that in not a food processor, a blender. I like my Vitamix for that, for 2 minutes. And when you're done with that, you pour it in your nut milk bag. Don't do a sieve. Squeeze it out, and what you're left with is really delicious, fresh almond milk. I was totally fine with that in my coffee. It has taken the place of my half and half, which is exciting, and is very low. I like Kristen, I don't really count calories, but it is very low calorically. The leftover almond, you do get a lot of extra like almond meal, and you can just freeze that and it lasts for a really long time. Use that in maybe a gluten-free bread that you're making, or muffins, or a scoop in your smoothie. So the other thing that I really like too, the recipe I believe is on the next slide, can you go to yes, thank you, is coconut creamer. So this is delicious. You take 4 pitted dates with 1 tablespoon of hot water. You're going to want to blend that first in your food processor to get kind of like a paste. And then you add 1 can of full fat coconut milk. So obviously this is going to be quite a bit higher in fat and calories than the homemade almond milk. So don't eat this with a spoon, put a couple spoonfuls in your coffee and put it away. And then a little bit of vanilla extract, 1 tablespoon vanilla extract, or a vanilla bean. And you process that in your blender. Make sure not to go too far with it, because it does end up turning into whipped cream. So it's also a great whipped cream alternative. And just a couple spoonfuls of that lasts me about a week or so in the fridge. And it's another really delicious alternative to dairy. And then going back to my favorite, I'm really a creature of habit. Linda is going to come on and share lots of really exciting different recipes. I do the same thing every single day. sometimes I switch in a little bit of oatmeal, but my favorite thing to make and the easiest, fastest thing for me is my cinnamon bun shake. It's delicious. The kids love it. And it's something I can just make, bring in the car with me. And it's just delicious. I don't know what else to say. The recipe for that is 1 cup of water. You could sub in almond milk, but I kind of just like the taste of filtered water in that. A cup of ice, half a banana. And I always, when I use, since I'm using just half a banana, I always just peel the other half, stick it in the freezer, and then you're ready for it the next day. 1 tablespoon of almond butter, 1 cup of spinach or a whole raw zucchini, which is, it blew my mind that it doesn't taste like zucchini. Just keep it raw, cut it up, stick it in your blender, and you will not taste it. It gives it kind of a nice thickness. And then 2 pitted dates, a tablespoon of cinnamon. I like a lot of cinnamon in it. And then a scoop of your favorite plant-based protein powder. And like Kristen, I use a vanilla one for this one. Blend it up, and it's just delicious. So I am going to hand this over to Linda, who's going to share some more recipes and tips for you.
Hi, everybody. I am Linda Okwar, coming to you from Los Angeles. I am a mom of 2, a 3-year-old and a 14-month-old. Oh my God, I can't believe my baby's 14 months. and I'm a fitness professional, as well as I help my clients with making good nutrition choices, because they definitely go hand in hand. And breakfast is so important. There's a reason why it's called breakfast. You got to break the fast. So it's very important that you get something in your stomach, especially if you're active. I mean, if you have kids, if you're going to work, there's so many things, so many demands on your body that it needs breakfast. If you're skipping breakfast, you're doing yourself a disservice. It actually make you gain weight, and it will make you tired. And just is not good for the rest of your day or your overall health goal that you have. It will definitely backfire on you. And people always tell me that it's really hard for them to get breakfast in. And I know it is, but I actually really love breakfast. I don't go without it. So I am going to challenge you to not only get breakfast in, but I want you to get veggies in the morning, because that's another thing that people say is that they have a hard time fitting veggies in their breakfast. They could do it at dinner, but you are going to have way more benefits if you put it in all your meals, your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, and even your snacks. So I'm going to give you some pointers on how to breakfast ideas, as well as how to get veggies, vegetables in your breakfast. The first one is smoothies. Kristen and Mary just talked about them. I love them. My son, who's 14 months, drinks like half my smoothie every day. So I've started making extra, because who wants to fight with their 14-month-old? You could put so much in there. You could put spinach and kale and zucchini, as Mary just talked about. Experiment with lots of different things. You could have some there if you need to go to work. You could put it like in a thermos, and it will keep it cold for a while, at least 4 hours, so you can still enjoy it. So get comfortable with your smoothie. I recommend doing a plant-based smoothie. I personally like Juice Plus smoothie, and so are a lot of the fitness professionals that I know. It's safe for pregnant moms, nursing moms. It's safe for kids. So it is phenomenal for like the whole family. So put that in your smoothie to give you extra boost of protein, complete protein. Another thing, example is an omelet. I know it might be a little time consuming for some people, but what I do is actually mix it ahead of time and put it like in the freezer. and then I just like take it out and just spray the bowl with like olive oil, and I put in egg whites or eggs. I put in spinach, I put in onions. I just like season it up and put it, like make a few in little bowls. I put it in a freezer. When I get out, I just pop it in my pan, and I don't have to start cutting or mixing or anything like that. So it's really super quick. Again, get your veggies in there. Throw in some extra, throw in some peppers, some sweet peppers, and broccoli, cauliflower, whatever you want to make it nice and tasty. Salad. Some people don't think, salad doesn't sound like a breakfast food, but remember, breakfast means that you just have to break the fast. It does not have to be your traditional breakfast food. So get in a salad, and that will right away take care of like your vegetable needs for the morning. Also, baked goods. Do it ahead of time so you can have something to grab. Throw in zucchini, throw in spinach, throw in carrots, throw in some other stuff in the muffins that you're making, or some type of, or the pastry, whatever it is that you're baking, and have it in the fridge so you can grab it and you can take it and you can go with. And it's super fast because it's already done, so you don't have to worry about baking or making something or buying something that's you don't know what's in it. At least when you make it, you know what's in it. That's what I love about cooking and making things, because I know what I put in there. So definitely we go a long way as far as like reducing your sugar intake, your caloric intake, because you know what you're putting in, and you're only going to put in what you need, right? And then dinner for breakfast. I'm a big fan of making larger meals. Make something for dinner. You can have it for lunch, but sometimes I eat my leftover for breakfast. Again, get out of the mindset of thinking that breakfast has to be certain types of food. Breakfast can be whatever you have for the first thing in the morning. And then for those people who absolutely cannot get in your veggies in the morning, please, please, please. Juice Plus is a phenomenal way to get in 30 different varieties of fruits and vegetables right away. It is your daily recommended fruits and vegetables, and you just taking that, you pretty much everything else you eat is going to be cake. It's not going to take the place of food, but it's going to bridge the gap of what you should eat and what you're actually eating. And just remember, with Juice Plus, kids eat for free, because if you are a Juice Plus customer, Juice Plus really want our children and our families to be healthy, so they will sponsor a child that's 4 years of age and up, all the way up to college, with their Juice Plus nutrients. So if you're taking it, sign up for the Children's Health Study, and your children or your grandkids or your niece and nephew can get their Juice Plus for free. So these are 6 ways that you can not only get breakfast, you get veggies in the breakfast. So you are supercharging your breakfast. So take one of these. You can definitely do it. Just plan ahead, prep. So those are my tips for getting breakfast in. My pick for my smoothie is the Chocolate Dream. I absolutely love this, and this is what my son loves. And it's so quick to make. Almond milk, a cup of almond milk, a cup of kale, which is basically like a handful. I know, we're measuring with a handful. A handful of kale, half a frozen banana, and a scoop of chocolate plant-based protein. Again, for me, it is that Juice Plus. I put it in and I blend it, and I pretty much have a meal. The good thing about this is that it will sustain you. You're not going to get hungry. Some people will have their shakes or smoothies and they feel hungry like right away. But if you treat it as a meal, meaning your protein, your carbohydrates, a little bit of fat, and you have a complete meal. So it's breakfast right there. You can make an extra batch. Like I said, I like to make things in big portions. Make an extra batch, put it in a thermos so you can take it to work or to school or whatever it is. Give it to your kids so they can have it later on for a midday snack or even like lunch. So that is that's my pick for a smoothie that you could make. And another great idea for breakfast. And we just want to say thank you, first of all, for joining us. We know that it's so hard to take the time out of your day. And remember, take one of these quotes. What really speaks to you? You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So if you don't try, you will not get there. Just try it. Michael Jordan missed a lot of shots, but he also made a lot because he took a lot. So it's not lack of direction, it's lack of time it's lack of direction, not lack of time that is a problem. We all have 24 hours. If you know people that get a lot done, they have the same amount of time that you have. So please be kind to yourself, be kind to your health, take care of yourself. Thank you for joining us. Get with the person that invited you to the call. Ask them about Juice Plus and ask them how you can better improve your health and your happiness. Thank you, and have a great rest of the day.